So, in the last volume, uh, Peter reunited with the rest of the Guardians and made a new member in Jack Flag, a vigilante superhero from Earth that was mutated by the Hyde formula to, well, be a superhero and stuff. And he's super strong. And he also hates cosmic stuff. And Starhawk is still imprisoned and still probably thinking about this whole anomaly thing that Major Astro is. Philavel is, now the Oblivion slave thing, and that's like a ancient god deity, so she's like now the underling of that. And oh yeah, and Moondragon's alive again. So, and also Gamora and Adam have been like going to the Universal Church of Truth and just checking the place out, seeing like trying to get it in charge of them, make themselves in charge of the place. And it's not really going well. And that's pretty much where we are at the moment. There's some things I have to explain that happened not in the comic, and a few things that you have to really explain to get some of the context. Like mainly one, the Inhumans. So the Inhumans are not really popular. Like you probably know the main guy, Black Bolt, from the Multiverse of Madness movie, and that it wasn't really good representation of him. But pretty much they're we were experimented by the Kree, like humans experimented by the Kree. They have like this big Terrigen gas that gives them powers. Miss Marvel was one of them, and probably the time the time that really explains what the Terrigen gas is probably the Marvel's Avengers game. The one that sucked. But anyway, I guess during Secret Invasion they became in charge of the Kree. So Ronan was technically in charge last time, but now they're in charge. And it's mainly because apparently Ronan and one of the Inhumans named Crystal are getting married. So yeah, that's happening. So, and that's like the main thing you really need to know about, like from like the title, like the cover, that you really need to get explained to you. Um, and also the Shi'ar Empire. So the Shi'ar Empire, I don't really know much about, and it's mainly because they're X-Men enemies, and the main exposure I've had to them are the movies, and the movies are a little bit limited in how they actually cover X-Men comic stuff that isn't Dark Phoenix, like the whole race allegory, Days of Future Past, some like one Apocalypse one time and Dark Phoenix twice. Yeah, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff, but anyway, let's just jump right into what happened in this volume. So it opens with Philavel, Drax, and Moondragon basically having a reunion party with the Guardians, and it didn't exactly go well because everyone got pissed at them and are having a big bar fight. And during this fight, Adam shows up, was like, "Hey guys, remember me? I kind of have a proposition and a working thing we need to do." So Adam explains that the Kree, led by the Inhumans now, and the Shi'ar, led by Emperor Vulcan, who is, and if you only know Cyclops from the X-Men from the movies, will kind of shock you, Cyclops' alien brother. Yep, apparently that's who he is. Because Cyclops' dad is also like a space adventurer like Star-Lord. He has no mutant powers whatsoever, but he's just, that guy. But anyway, Vulcan is in the Kree, in the Inhumans, basically at war currently, and Adam's like, you know that whole like rift thing that we haven't seen since Volume One. Yeah. Uh, if this war keeps going, it's kind of gonna tear open a problem in the universe. You see, and we kind of need to deal with it. So they all decide, all right, let's deal with it. So they decide to split up into two groups. And oh yeah, by the way, Adam and Gamora aren't saying they're rejoining. They're just deciding that they need more people to help them out. So that's what they're doing. And so they come up with a plan. Two teams go to the Shi'ar Empire and the Inhumans and are like, hey, you gotta stop. And like the rest of the Guardians are just like, the reaction is, so what you're saying is we have to basically do diplomacy against these guys? And Adam and Peter are like, yep. And like the rest are just like, oh crap. But and so the teams are aside, like Peter, Jack Flag, V Lavelle because she's Kree, and Bug and Gamora are gonna go to the Inhumans and basically say like, because the Inhumans are seen as more reasonable than the Shi'ar because Vulcan's kind of insane, and so that's Team One. Team Two is Adam, Drax, Rocket, Groot, and Major Victory going to the Shi'ar Empire and trying to basically force Vulcan to like let this war go. And let's spoiler alert: both plans go bad, like very badly. Like so bad that it's kind of amazing how much they fucked up this bad. Pretty much. So let's go off with like what happened to Peter's team. So Peter's team like showed up. They went to the throne room, basically explained the problem that was at fault. That the universe was kind of not exactly there. It was kind of stitched together with duct tape, and it kind of needs more super glue and a little bit more time to heal. So a war is kind of a bad time, and the Inhumans were just like, no. And like the Guardians are like, well, what the hell? We just explained the problem. You gotta say yes. And the humans like, look, we were attacked first. We'll look like weaklings if like we're like seen like weaklings, then we lose all respect. So like, no, we need to go like attack this person. And pretty much and like and Philavel it kind of gets pissed off, and like Peter's like, "What the hell's up with you?" Like, and like she's like fully insulting the queen. Like Bug tries to come in. There's a running joke that Gamora is like telling Bug why he wasn't in the original team, and like that's what's going on. And and then Crystal, you know, the one that's currently engaged to Ronan, comes in and is like, and she's like the nicest of the Inhumans, mainly because she's a kind-hearted princess, and basically probably right now is a Disney princess, and like she comes in and is like, hey, like maybe they have a point. We have to hear them out. We have to see what they're talking about. But Philavel is, I guess, getting kind of impatient because she pulls up her sword and takes Crystal hostage. Like, Pierre's like, what the fuck are you doing? This is a bad look. We do not need this look. And Philavel, like, despite the first two volumes showing her as, like, kind and a bit more less ruthless than everyone else, it kind of is like, look, this is the only way this can work. This is the only way. And and pretty much like Peter asked her to let her go, and pretty much calls up Cosmo. Is like, "Hey, Cosmo, we're done here. Bring us back." But there was just one problem, one huge problem, and let's just say, Villavelle didn't let go of Crystal, and Peter is pissed. Like, really pissed. And before I go on with what Peter's doing, let's go back to Adam and, the A team. The ass kicking, the ass kicking team. So, what they originally thought they were teleporting into was the main ship, so they could, like either talk Vulcan out of it, or more likely beat the shit out of him, so he will eventually just let the war go. Instead, what happened was the team, besides Adam, were out in space, and Adam was in the main throne room. And the rest of the team got picked up by these people called the Starjammers, which originally were led by Cyclops' dad, which I mentioned earlier, and are basically the original, like, modern-day MCU Guardians of the Galaxy, except with a ripoff of Abomination. But but at the time, Havoc, Cyclops' brother, and I guess Magneto's daughter, I don't really know, but are in the ship, and they're like, "Oh, hey, I know that guy," because Rocket is a lot more friendlier in the comics before, the movie came out, and then they turn him into a giant asshole. Uh, and they decide to help these Guardians out and like blast off to help save the Shi'ar Empire. But with Adam, he's currently fighting with Vulcan, and Vulcan's like, "Oh yeah, let's go, baby. I want to fight because you're the strongest person I've like come across yet." And like Adam actually has a run for his money, and he gets so drained that he starts to resemble Magus. So the Magus is the evil Adam Warlock. You know him from the game. If you see my Let's Play, that's who he is. But he hasn't fully taken over Adam's body at this point. But it's more like a evil form power up for Adam, as he pretty much holds off both Vulcan and a lot of his staff, including a fellow magic user, but she actually manages to put a witch mark on Adam because she's way weaker than him, but she managed to do that. And Adam gets teleported back to nowhere, but by the time he notices the witch mark, he's like, "Oh shit!" And when Peter comes back and realizes that Crystal is in Phila's hands, both the Inhumans in Kree Empire and the Shi'ar Empire show up to the Shi'ars to capture Adam Warlock because Vulcan demanded it, because he really wants to fight this guy, and the Inhumans to get Crystal back, and also probably to kick the ass of the Guardians. And this turns into a massive fight in the quantum vortex, and pretty much Peter's freaking out, telling her to let Crystal go. Villavelle eventually, hold on. Let me just check real quick. Oh no, Crystal front flips Villavelle, and Mantis shows her the problem that they were talking about, and Crystal's like, "Holy shit, you're right." But before that could happen, the Shi'ar realized Black Bolt's there and is like, "Oh crap, we can do this. We can get the enemy." But the Black Bolt basically yells, because that's his power, to any word he says is like a massive sound blast, and saves Crystal, and the rest of the Inhumans get out of there with Lockjaw. And the Shi'ar pretty much try to take over nowhere because, Warlock's still there. And everyone's like running away and crap. But while all this was happening, Starhawk managed to brainwash Moondragon because Moondragon's still in like a sensitive state because she just came back to life and crap. And like Starhawk was basically saying, "Hey, let me out." And Moondragon did it. And like that, and like Peter, Jack Flag, Bug, and Mantis and Cosmo are going one way, and like Philavel, Moondragon, Gamora, Adam. Well, not really Adam, but yeah, mainly those three are going another way, while Adam is trying to get like away from the Shi'ar, who are like mercilessly hunting him down. And the Shi'ar decide, you know what? Let's just take over nowhere. And like Peter tries to call the government, but since the whole secret invasion thing happened, they kind of are like, no, fuck you. And like, yeah, that was like their revenge for him, basically calling them all losers. But Starhawk captures Peter's team and brings them to the future, and I'll be back in a minute because we have to focus on what Adam did. So he basically removed the witch mark and placed it on the witch that gave it to him, and the Shi'ar begin freaking out like, oh shit, we don't know where he is. And hold on, let me check. Yeah, a lot of stuff happened. I kind of forgot. Oh yeah, he looks like Magus again. Evil super form and crap and whatever. Oh, Rocket's team shows back up after, like, they thought they saved the Shi'ar Empire by placing back on the original Empress, but the Shi'ar there like, no, no way our Lord would like fall for that bullshit. No, no, no. They are fine. It's you that are screwed. And Rocket's like, oh crap, we helped. So in case you're interested in seeing the Starjammers and Rocket Raccoon adventures, sorry, you're gonna have to go somewhere else. But after that, the Shi'ar basically like say, well, screw this, and get the hell out of there. Like everyone's back at HQ and like wondering, hey, where did Peter's team run off to? They're not really answering their phones. Then all of a sudden, Nowhere itself begins transmitting a message to Adam Warlock. Oh yeah, it went there. So, let's see what Peter's team's up to. So they teleport to the Avengers Mansion. But, they kind of misspelled 2 with like an extra arm. Wait, 3009? Yep, they're in the year 3009 and attacking the original Guardians of the Galaxy. And like at first everyone's like the original Guardians are confused, like Peter's team's confused, like, well, what the hell, and begin like fighting it until they reach the outside and realize where the hell they are. And the universe is basically, and the Guardians explain that the problem that they wanted, like, that Starhawk kept coming back in time to fix, wasn't really solved yet. And this is what led to it. So the universe is basically fully destroyed. Like, everyone's having an existential crisis about it. Yondu and Mantis are flirting. And, how do I put this? Oh yeah, and the Badoon are here too because apparently the Badoon are this OP that they that they begin like hunting down the Guardians, and like the Guardians go back into their mansion and like go onto their ship, and Starhawk sacrifices herself, and everyone's like, "Oh, such an American hero," but I mean, there's nothing left, so whatever. And like they go on to their main goal of trying to because the time machine was only in the Avengers Mansion and not on the ship. So Peter and the team can't exactly go back and warn their friends, so they have to come up with a different option. And the Guardians have a good backup plan. So since they also have Cosmo with them, they're gonna pretty much go to uh, where they're holding Celestials and go into one of them. Cosmo will use his brain powers to send a message back to Adam Warlock, and bada bing bada boom, the universe should be saved. The only problem is that it's basically a suicide mission, and none of them are really jazzed about their current status at the moment of well living. So so they arrive, their ship gets shot down, they begin to be overrun, uh, and also like Cosmo goes up to the brain, sends a message out to Adam, and everything begins to be engulfed in white because their main goal was to basically set off like a nuclear explosion or whatever. Oh, let me check. Oh no, they were gonna detonate the sun. The sun that's there. Yeah, a lot of crap happened in this one, and my brain's still trying to figure out what the hell happened in it. I mean, it's a lot of big words, and a lot of them don't make any sense to me. And so Peter's team seems to be dead. But back in the present, Adam gets the message and is like, "Oh, oh." And so Adam gets the message. Everyone's kind of confused, like, "Whoa, what the hell happened?" But Adam's more like, "Oh, well, I probably should tell the people that sent the message that they kind of came too late because I can see right out the window that a big explosion happened and it's tearing a hole in the universe already." And everyone's like, "Oh shit!" But Adam's like, "Don't worry, I got a plan." So he screws off while he gives the rest of the team uh, to basically go into the Inhumans' place, and the Inhumans are kind of in a sour mood because Black Bolt died, and like the guards are like, "So I don't really want to say this, but we really fucking told you so about this." But like, there's just one problem that the Inhumans are facing at the moment. They're being currently still being sucked in to the portal. So they like some of the Guardians, the tough ones, like go outside to try and like attack like one of the monsters that are coming out of the portal, dragging them back in. That's what's happening. But while Groot, Rocket, Crystal, and another guy I forgot the name of, hold on. Maximus. Pretty much have to come up with a way of actually stopping the thing from pulling them in. And this is when we learn how smart Groot actually is. Like, I know I haven't really been focusing on Groot that whole much, but apparently he is as smart as Maximus, who is said to be smart and also a mad scientist. Like, so much so that that Rocket didn't even realize, who understands Groot, by the way, that Groot was that smart. And it's learned that Groot is basically royalty in his homeland. And like Rocket's like, what the fuck? And while this is, and they're basically like, when they get a call from Adam or whatever, they're like, yeah, it looks like it's being handled. And like, they fend off the monster till the serum or whatever comes in and completely screws up, like, the tentacles pulling them in, and the day is saved. And then they notice temple ships from the Universal Church of Truth out there, and they're like, what the fuck? Adam, what the hell's going on? Oh yeah, Gamora went with Adam, by the way. And so Philavel, like, rockets towards them and is like, hey, what's going on? And like Adam can't respond, so Gamora basically explains that Adam, I know how this is gonna sound, so Adam's pretty much gonna pull the universe back together by making it connected to another timeline. And that's pretty much the most simple version of it. And so Adam does it. Because he can't, like, seal it. He can't seal the big crack in the universe. So he's more or less just gonna stop it from spreading to become the future that we saw in 3009. And, like, after it's done, like, Adam's all exhausted. You don't see his face at all. And then, Philavel, out of nowhere, stabs him. And Gamora's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's gonna save the universe. And Philavel's like, look, I had to make a deal with Oblivion in order to save the love of my life, Moondragon. I had to do this. He's the embodiment of life at this point. So I had to kill him, and he told me I know when the moment was right. Gamora is pissed and basically stabs Philavel. And then oh yeah. And then Magus comes out and is like, hey, guess what? This is the future he chose. So there's some things to explain about Adam. If you only seen the movie and you just saw him being dumb, Adam in the books has a prophecy that he will turn into the Magus. Like, in the future. Like, it's inevitable that he'll turn into him. And he is, like, stop the future to where it's not going to happen. But that was the future he chose to merge with our timeline, basically making it the main timeline where he turns into the Magus and rules over the Universal Church of Truth. You got that? And he also snaps Gamora's neck for good measure and laughs like a maniac in the vacuum of space. And so then, we're on to the next issue, where we are yet again in the year 3009 and with another group of Guardians of the Galaxy featuring Wonder Man this time. Don't know how the hell he is still alive and in that great of shape, but he is Wonder Man. Like, sure, he isn't called Wonder Man, but it's obvious if you've seen a design of Wonder Man. It's very obvious. And also him claiming that he was a old Avenger. And this is like a War of the Worlds type world where they basically took over. It's not the Badoon this time. They basically took over and are full blown using tripods from War of the Worlds. There's a guy using Captain America's shield called Scarlet. Like, that weird muscle bound guy is there too. another version of Starhawk, who's a guy again. And that's pretty much the only, and also a fire lady. But then Peter and his group that are thought to have died are all of a sudden back. But there's just one problem. Peter's looking old. Mantis and Cosmo are a puppy and a baby respectively, and Bug is in his teenage years. But Flag is perfectly fine for some reason. And like everyone's like, "Whoa, what the fuck's going on?" Including the this new future Guardians of the Galaxy who are like, "Huh, hey, who are you? Like, you guys like kick ass," because they destroyed a tripod before they started realizing what the hell was going on with them. And like Peter introduces them as the butt kickers of the butt kickers of the universe. And like, oh wow, that is a stupid name. And they pretty much bring him to their secret headquarters and explain to him what this future is like. But Starhawk then explains what is happening to their bodies, why they're like future, like super old or super young, or kind of fading out of existence in the case of Flag. Because apparently Flag, yes, Jack Flag, who you have never heard of, is the chosen one. So he's fading out of existence. But Starhawk realizes that they kinda are in the wrong timeline. And kinda are either matching it or fading from existence because of it. Or just dying in general. So they have to come up with a plan, aka go get another time machine so they can get the hell out of here. And Wonder Man's like, oh yeah, the Avengers Mansion has a time machine in like its basement. So they decide to basically break into it, and Wonder Man like knows how to get there because he's an Avenger. He knows all the ways out of the mansion. So he and they go into the vault where the time machine is because it's Doctor Doom's time machine, and a bunch of aliens show up. You know, the enemy. So they kind of have to hold them off while they find the time machine. And just before they left, they get sucked into another timeline, fully leaving these Guardians of the Galaxy to die, I guess, or use the weaponry that's also in the vault to fend off the aliens and presumably save the world from the tyranny of the aliens. And then they get teleported to another 3009, like still with their problems, and a whole bunch of Universal Church of Truths came out because they're back in their main timeline, I guess, where Magus takes over the Universal Church of Truth, and they're now stuck there. So the final issue begins with that. They're all like fighting him off. Like Jack is like fully fading from existence, and he's seriously freaking out about it. And then a whole bunch of Starhawks just show up out of nowhere and help them out away from the Cardinals. And then King the Conqueror shows up, you know, the one from Quantumania. And it's just like, hey, come with me if you want to live. And pretty much brings them to Limbo, a very safe space from the current shitstorm that is the time multiverse or whatever. Like, King's like, okay, so pretty much Adam got your message. He managed to stop the vault from happening. That's what it was called, the fault. But he also turned super evil and is now currently in this timeline, and it's not good for anybody. So I kind of need you to do one thing for me. Save the universe by stopping the Magus, Adam from becoming the Magus at any cost. And Peter's not too jazzed to, kill one of his friends or teammates, because Peter, despite being a humongous asshole, is still a good person. Oh yeah, and he also turns Mantis, Cosmo, Bug, and like Peter back to their original ages, and I presume stopping Jack from fading from existence. And also gives him clothes, I guess. Like Mantis, like Peter, don't trust him. I have a history with Kang the Conqueror, and Kang's like, oh yeah, we do, but you see, there's currently a bigger problem than me at the moment. And then a bunch of Cardinals show up in Limbo, and it's like, oh shit, we have to get out of here. Okay, there's your message. Here's the thing to kill him: a cosmic cube. So do the thing, I do it at any cost. And just before Philavel stabbed Adam, originally when Adam was super tired, Peter grabs her hand and everyone shows up. And they're all in the stance, basically saying, look guys, we have 5 minutes to try and make this either peaceful or bloody. And basically explains that Adam right now is about to turn to the Magus and turn the future into basic doo-doo. And Philavel's and then explains again that she's the servant of Oblivion, and that the only way to save Moondragon was to kill the Giver of Life, which she now suspects is Adam, and that to do it whenever she felt it most right. Gamora is pissed because I guess she really likes Adam, I guess. And the rest of the guys are just stop fighting. Peter's trying to talk sense into give Adam a pep talk, dude, you gotta fight this, you gotta not become evil. Adam's like, he's too strong, Peter, I can't help it. The rest of the Guardians then show up again, Rocket, Groot, and the rest that were back on the ship, and they're like, okay, Peter, how about you explain what's going on? Then explains again to them. Well, they show up before the 5 minutes thing, and he explains it. But then Magus shows up and pretty much seems to kick the ass of everyone there. Phila's dead. Mantis and Cosmo are dead. Major Victory gets his suit torn and he fucking disintegrates. Hold on. Ooh. He actually did survive. Groot's arm gets destroyed. Philavel gets stabbed. Gamora tries to attack him, and then she gets stabbed. Drax gets seriously pushed back. So basically, see who survives. Alright, so Gamora, Philavel, Mantis, Cosmo are dead. And Major Victory too. And Peter grabs the cosmic cube, holds it up, Magus is ah, crap, you're not playing fair, because he's just such a flamboyant asshole, as shown in the game. During the entire time, he was basically murdering everyone. He's basically making fun of them, haha, you suck. Seriously, did you think that would work? But Peter holds up the cosmic cube, Like, Adam's like, please, Peter, he's too strong for me. I can't fight him. Do it. And Peter holds up his gun and shoots. Adam is also dead. They all come back, Moondragon, already sensing that her, the love of her life is dead. Like, Drax comes into her and informs her that the cost was heavy, but they succeeded. And as she cries, the rest of the Guardians are in a depressing mood. And that's how the volume ends. Wow, that was a lot. So much so, I probably should have read it a lot, much more than just, you know. But if I only had the reading will to do it like to read it either in one full day or, you know, like day after day instead of days in between, I probably would have gone through it a lot faster. So yeah, that was a whole hell of a lot. It like concluded the Starhawk thing. It concluded like I guess the vault and like the whole tearing up the universe and crap. It I guess concluded the Universal Church of Truth because they still have a cocoon that they thought was Adam Warlock, and it seemed like something was in there. So that's probably going to come back later. And it basically reveals what Philavel had to do in order to save her girlfriend. And yeah, like it also did the whole war thing kind of well, I guess. But it just had a really depressing ending. Where basically no one was satisfied by the conclusion. Like Peter's in like guilt and all that. Like Bugs comforting him. Like Rocket and Groot are basically in a bad mood. They also screwed. Where the hell's Groot then? But yeah, there were some entertaining parts. Like the whole Groot like reveal of what he like who he is was pretty entertaining. Especially like if you really liked Gamora's like in volume 3 of the movie volume 3, like weird like reactions to everyone understanding Groot, and all she hears is I am Groot, and she's like, what, like, you sure you guys aren't just making up what he says? And like when Maxim's doing it, it's like she asked Rocket, all he's saying is I am Groot. And yeah, that's all he's saying. But dang it, they don't show respect to Groot. Freaking awesome. But yeah, that was volume 3. It is definitely the most mind melding, has the most stuff in it, and also is very confusing. Like if you like hate confusing stuff, you're probably gonna be like, oh god damn it. But anyway, I'll see you for volume 4, which they now have to deal with. Okay, let me just quick. They have to stop the War of Kings. Oh, I guess it didn't like end off the Shi'ar threat, so yeah. So, judging by the next volume cover, Moondragon's gonna become a main member, so that'll be fun to see. Alright, see y'all next time for volume 4. Bye.